we're live, we're half live. We're always trying to wake up from our dormant position. We're live on Facebook perhaps, and whatever the other one is, it is on its way very soon. In the meantime, page number 32. In the meantime, today is Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Thakur's appearance day. Just let me know when you're ready. And already the devotees, we had beautiful Ārati, and then the morning Vandanam and chanting, and now in remembrance of Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Thakur, his appearance day. Then, are we online? 3, 2, 1, half, quarter, eighth, 16th. Okay, we're online. So we're just about to chant Shri Govardhana-vāsa-prārthanā-daśakam. And if you get the mouse from the room, the mouse with the tail, then you can be... And the mouse pad, probably, kindly. Here in London, they use the version of the book, the songbook, but the new songbook is underway with the correcting diacritics, etc. So it's consistent with the other books. And so what we'll do, because this prayer that we're about to chant is not in the older songbook, but is in the newer songbooks. So we're going to be a little high-tech, if we can, and show it from here. View, page, full, menu bar, and okay. So we're going to recite the prayers of Raghunāth Das Goswami for a dwelling near Sri Govardhan. Jai Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rokop, Srila Dev-Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, and Jai Bhagavan, Srila Bhaktisiddhānta, Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. So Sri Govardhana-vāsa-prārthanā-daśakam, a dwelling near Sri Govardhan. 10 prayers for a dwelling near Sri Govardhan, composed by Srila Raghunāth Das Goswami, the preferred prayer to Sri Govardhan of Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Thakur. So, what I was going to ask, maybe Pandit would be the mastermind. If you point this somewhere, okay. I think if you point it here, then mostly can see, and you've got that, and then you can just scroll it with this one down. And we will chant it slowly together. All right, we're getting set up here. Okay, are we good? And it is everyone who has, everyone's got mobile phones. It's from the, on scsmat.com, if you download the Kirtan Guide from the books section, PDF books, the Kirtan Guide, 10th edition, it's on page 32. Okay, slowly together, the first verse. Nijapati bhuja danda chatra bhavam prapadya pratihata madadrishto danda devendra garva atula pritula shaila shreni bhupa priyang me nija nikata nivasam dehi govardhan tvam. O Govardhan, you became the umbrella atop the handle of the arm of your Lord and crushed the pride of proud, arrogant, impudent Indra. You are the incomparable king of all great mountains. Please give me a dear dwelling near you, O Govardhan. And we'll read the translation to verse 2 first, and then we will chant verse 2. Verse 2, O Govardhan, the divine couple liberally enact pastimes of mad love in your caves, so that I can see their pastimes. Please give me a dwelling near you, O Govardhan. And we say the verse together. Pramadammadana-līlā kandare kandare te rachayati navajuno dvandvam asmin namandam iti kila kalanakam lagnakashtadvayorme nija nikata nivasam dehi govardhan tvam. And then verse 3 in Sanskrit. Anupamamannivedi ratna singhasanorvi ruhajaradara droni sangeshu rangai sahabala sakipi sankelayan svapriyam me nija nikata nivasam dehi govardhan tvam. O Govardhan, you induce your beloved to joyfully play with Balaram and his friends amidst your trees, brooks, caves, plateaus, valleys, and incomparable jeweled terraces, which resemble jeweled thrones. Please give me a dwelling near you, O Govardhan. And then verse 4. In English first, okay. O Govardhan, you provide the dark, lustrous, fragrant terrace that witnesses the fair pastime of the young couple, who are an ocean of rasa, and you delight the best amongst those who relish of rasa. Please give me a dwelling near you, O Govardhan. So verse 4, and then we'll also recite verse 4 and 5 in Sanskrit, then we'll catch up with the translation of verse 5. Verse 4, Sanskrit. Rasa nidhi navajuno sakshining dana kaikele duty parimala vidham shyama veding prakashya rasika varakulanam modama aspalayan me nija nikata nivasam dehi govardhan tvam. And then verse 5 Sanskrit. Haridayetam apurvam radhika kundamatma priyasakamiha kante namanalingya guptaha navayuva yuga kelas tatra pashyam rahome nija nikata nivasam dehi govardhan tvam. And 6 Sanskrit too. Sthala jalatala, verse number 6 in Sanskrit. Sthala jalatala shashvair buru hachchayayacha pratipadam anukalang hanta samvadayangaha trijagati nijagotrang satakankya payanme nija nikata nivasam dehi govardhan. So 5 and 6 in English. Playfully embracing around the neck your dear friend Radha Kund, the incomparable favorite of the Lord, you hide in a secluded place beside her and watch the pastimes of the young couple. Please give me a dwelling near you, O Govardhan. Number 6. O Govardhan, you always fully nourish the cows everywhere with your land, water, plains and grass, and the shade of your trees, and thus proclaim the fulfillment of your name throughout the 3 worlds. Please give me a dwelling near you, O Govardhan. Okay, now we've got 7, 8 and 9. So let's chant the Sanskrit of 7, 8 and 9 together, and then we'll read the translation. So verse 7. Surapati krita dirgham drohato goshta raksham tava navagriha rupas yantare kuvataiva Agabakari punochchair dattamana drutang me Nija nikita nivasam dehi govardhan tvam. Giri nrip 3, 2.5. Giri nripak haridasa shreni varyeti nama Mritamidamuditang Shri Radhika Vaktra Chandrat Vrajantavatila Klipta Vedai Sputang Me Nija Nikata Nivashang Dehi Govardhan Tvam. And number 10, together. Yes? 3, 2, 1. Nija Jana Yuta Radha Krishna Maitri Rasakta Brajanara Pashupakshi Brata Saukyaika Data Aganita Karunatvan Mamuri Kritya Tantam Nija Nikata Nivasham Dehi Govardhan Tvam. 7, 8 and 9. 7 plus 3 is 10, but it's 4 verses. Okay, number 10 as well. Niru 3, 2, 1. Nirupadhikarunena Shri Shachi Nandanena Tvai Kapati Shatopi Tvat Priyenarpitosmi Iti kalu mama yogya yogya tam tam agrinan Nija nikata nivasam dehi govardhan. So 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have the microphone. I'll say, "Oh Govardhan, you are highly honored by Sri Krishna, the enemy of Aga and Baka, who protected his community." Oh, I see. You are highly honored by Sri Krishna, the enemy of Aga and Baka, who protected Krishna protected his community from the onslaught of Indra beneath your form as their new home. You see, they got a new home under Govardhan Hill. Please, quickly give me a dwelling near you, O Govardhan. O Govardhan, O King of mountains, when the nectar of your name, Haridasa Vaja, the best of the Lord's servants, came forth from the moon-like face of Sri Radhika, you were clearly established by the Vedas as the new tilak of Braja. Please give me a dwelling near you, O Govardhan. And number 9, Nija Jana Yuta Radha. You alone give happiness to the people, animals and birds of Braja. And you are filled with the mood of friendship towards Radha, Krishna and their companions. You are immeasurably merciful. So please accept me, a wearied soul, and give me a dwelling near you, O Govardhan. A wearied soul. And then number 10, O Govardhan, although I am insincere and deceitful. Remember, this is also the expression for everybody, but remember, this is composition of Raghunāth Das Goswami. Although I am insincere and deceitful, I have been given to you by your dear Sri Sachi Nandana, who is unconditionally merciful. So I've been given to you because Mahāprabhu gave to Raghunāth Das the Govardhan Śrīla, his own Govardhan Śrīla that he worshipped, and tears flowed from his eyes, he rubbed his face with it, not to be imitated, but this way it was very dear. This Govardhan Śrīla, very dear to Mahāprabhu, he gave that to Raghunāth Das Goswami. So he said, I have been given to you by your dear Sri Sachinanda, because Raghunāth, Mahāprabhu essentially giving Raghunāth Das the savor of Govardhan Hill, of Govardhan. So please do not judge whether I am qualified or unqualified, and give me a dwelling near you, O Govardhan. So those are the 10 verses, and then the last verse, we can say together, it has a different last line, and it is like explaining about, well, I can read it. One who carefully studies these 10 nectarian verses describing the King of Mountains, Sri Govardhan, will soon attain a dwelling at this joyous place and quickly attain the precious jewel of personal service to the divine couple. Haribo. And this verse we'll say slowly together. Rasadādaśakam asya Śrīla Govardhanasya Kshitidhara kula bharturja prayatnat adhite Sasapadi sukadesmin vasamasadya sakshach Shubhada jugala seva ratnam apnoti turnam. So may Sri Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Thakur be happy to hear these expressions which are coming from Raghunāth Das Goswami, and that the Western world, we're chanting these verses that are dear to Srila Saraswati Thakur and in praise of Govardhan, and a prayer for a residence near Sri Govardhan Hill. So today is also the inauguration day of the temple in the middle of Sri Govinda Kunda. I just want to, when we're on the web, we always want to, when we're being broadcast, just want to make sure we get everything right. Anniversary festival of the installation of Sri Gupta-Govardhan Mandir, Sri Govinda. Yes. And this is what we remember from being in Nabadwip, that today is a varied day of not only one festival of Srila Saraswati Thakur, but also the installation of Giriraj Govardhan. And this is what was making us think, we'll chant the glories of Govardhan and at the same time satisfy Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur by reciting his preferred song to Giriraj. Hare Krishna. And then no guesses of what I think we can sing now is the Sri Gupta-Govardhan Ārati. Sri Gupta-Govardhan Ārati. And on this day and on other special days we've been there at the temple. We got to go by boat in the center and with Srila Gurudev while the Ārati of Giriraj is taking place in the Gupta-Govardhan temple. And the temple, it is also Mahāprabhu's Jal Mandir, but for Mahāprabhu's pastimes. But Mahāprabhu's body, Gurudev said, his body in the deity form is not suitable for staying always surrounded by water. And so Mahāprabhu, he comes to that temple in the center. 2, 3, 4, 5 can be more times. Gurudev said, many times he can come. But certainly on special days, like Chandan Yatra, and probably today we would expect that they'll bring Mahaprabhu's murti, not Mahaprabhu who is Gauranga Gandhava Govinda Sundar, but there is a separate murti known as the Vijay Murti, the Mahaprabhu for pastimes, Vijay Murti. And just this morning, I was thinking about that during the Ārati. And you know that I don't know whether this Mahaprabhu and Green Street Mahaprabhu had any conversation with each other. But in Nabadwip, the Mahaprabhu on the altar of Guru Gauranga Gandhava Govinda Sundar had some conversation with the Mahaprabhu who is a Vijay Murti. Why are you here with me? I am the deity. And Gurudev, we know this from Gurudev, only we can know from Gurudev. And so Gurudev separated them and made a harmonious arrangement that the Vijay Vigraha stays in the Samadhi temple of Guru Maharaj and a little bit beside him. So he is given all honor in the company of Guru Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj in the company of the Vijay Vigraha. But I was thinking about that this morning, that if deities of Mahaprabhu, Radha and Krishna would come, then what will Mahaprabhu think about this?
The Mahaprabhus used to live together, didn't they?
Well, perhaps they talked with each other, and now Mahaprabhu is here. If Gurudev is here, what will he say?
So the Vijay Vigraha Mahaprabhu was originally in the main...
Yes, but to the side, but obviously not on the floor, he's on his own, but to the side, and so he was honored, but you not necessarily like worshipped in that same sense, but in the same way now also he's honored rather than there's an Ārati for Mahaprabhu at the Samadhi Mandir, but he's honored in there. So, oh, this is upside down. The material world is the upside down of the spiritual world. So I got it upside down. Okay, now we got everything the right way up. We need to have the right vision. Okay, so now let us sing the Gupta-Govardhan Ārati. It's so beautiful. But I do hope, we always say, please see the translations while we sing. It's just part of the bhajan. It's not only part, it's an important part. And many times we've said how Gurudev wanted we don't just make sound, throw sound into the air. We want to sing with heart, know what we're singing. So, Gupta-Govardhan Ārati, somebody can say Jaya Jaya Giriraj, Ārati. Is that Gupta-Govardhan or Govardhan?
Page 30.
Sorry, yes. Jaya Jaya Giriraja Ārati Vishala.
Page 30. Oh, you've got a different book than me. Jaya Jaya Giriraj Ārati Vishala. So please, another will sing, but everybody will read themselves the translation as we go through. This is composed by Srila Gurudev for Giriraj in Gupta-Govardhan. In Gupta-Govardhan means in Govinda Kunda, in Gupta-Govardhan. So I think you can sing happily, Pandit, and you have a microphone near you. It's a sign.
Jaya Jaya Giriraja Ārati Vishala.
Jaya Jaya Giriraja Ārati Vishala. Shri Govinda Krishna, and just a short while ago, 32.5 minutes ago, maybe, standing outside the door here, and we're hearing very nice kirtan coming from in here, sounding Bengali. And it was Krishna Gopal Prabhu. I said, who is singing so nicely? So, Krishna Gopal Prabhu, please. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda and Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda,
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda,
Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sri Gupta-Govardhan
Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sri Gupta-Govardhan.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Rama 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 Hare
Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare,
Rama Hare Hare,
Rama Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare,
Krishna 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. So, I believe that we are going to have a program here, like specifically, as in Nabadwip, a program in honor of Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Thakur and his worship, all the time, but I think we're going to gather at 10:15, 10:15, and then we're going to have another program on the other side of London, which is starting around maybe midday or something like that, a little later, and we'll go from here to there and participate in East London Temples Festival too. So now we'll read from Sri Chaitanya-Caritāmrta, only I completely lost the place because I was searching for something else. So somebody's going to have to say where we were. Madhya-līlā chapter 1, and who's going to say where we were? Okay, loud response from the associates, our associates in the room. So Madhya-līlā chapter 1. Okay, what did you hear yesterday? That will give me a place.
We were listening to Guru Maharaj yesterday.
Yeah.
Thank you, Saraswati. We were listening to Srila Guru Maharaj yesterday. All right, and we got a little carried away. We didn't actually read from the Chaitanya-Caritāmrta yesterday. That's a fact. So what did we hear from Srila Guru Maharaj yesterday? Usually we ask devotees to remember it until breakfast time, but to remember 24 hours is a challenge.
Not to cheat others and ourselves in, thinking that, there was the story about the person that said, I am Rama, I'm Jesus.
Oh my goodness, yes. Srila Gurudev was telling stories yesterday morning. But for examples, just like we get all throughout the scriptures, we get some stories, some lila of the devotees. But you were with us yesterday, so you know that. Now see if anyone can remember the day before yesterday, what we were.
Mahāprabhu returned to Puri.
Oh, Mahāprabhu, and then they cleaned the Gundicha temple, and then they're going to dance, I think, in front of the Rath Yatra car. Okay. So we're still in verse number 1, chapter number 1. So we've got our context. Okay. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
All right, so actually, yes, so we'd heard about the dog. So Mahaprabhu has been around South India. This is chapter 1 of Madhya-līlā in very synopsis, very shortened form. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj is giving the later pastimes. So in very word by word practically, line by line, he's explained his receiving sannyas, going to South India, after going to Puri, then South India, and then came back to Jagannath Puri, and then the Bengal devotees coming to Puri for Rath Yatra, and then the second year also, we covered a whole year in a line or two, then the next year they also came, and that time then Shivananda Sain, there was a dog that accompanied them, Shivananda Sain looked after everyone, including that dog. That dog went ahead and then got Krishna Prema from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, so after arriving in Jagannath Puri, all the devotees, all the Vaishnavas met with the Lord. Later, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sported in the water, taking all the devotees with him. Then first the Lord washed the temple of Gundicha very thoroughly. Then everyone saw the Rath Yatra festival and the Lord's dancing before the car. This is where we got to yesterday, or the day before yesterday, because yesterday Srila Guru Maharaj was giving darshan upstairs. We went upstairs to hear. All right, so Jai Sri Chaitanya-Caritāmrta ki Jai, Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswāmī ki Jai, Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, and Bhagavan, Srila Bhaktisiddhānta, Sarasvatī Thakur ki Jai. And many places, Srila Prabhupada is quoting directly or saying what is mentioned by Srila Bhaktisiddhānta, Sarasvatī Thakur in his commentary on the Sri Chaitanya-Caritāmrta, called the Anubhasya commentary. All right. In the garden along, and so Madhya-līlā chapter 1, text 144 is where We are starting, and maybe you read it yesterday. In the garden along the road from the Jagannath temple to Gundicha, where the Rath Yatra is going, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed various pastimes. A Brahmana named Krishna Ras performed the bathing ceremony of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, you have to hear all about this later on. After dancing, that's it. After dancing in front of the in the Gundicha temple, the Lord sported in the water. Oh, we did read this with his devotees. And on Hera Panchami day, they all saw the activities of the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi. We did read this too, because we pointed out that all the ladies were very happy about that day. Okay. On Janmastami, Lord Krishna's birthday, Mahaprabhu dressed himself as a cowherd boy. Mm-hmm. At that time, he carried a balance with water pots of yogurt and wheeled a rod about. We read this, it's fine. We're reading it again. After all, we didn't exactly all flow with remembering what we read. So, repetition is good. Mm-hmm. After this, Mahaprabhu bade farewell to all the devotees from Gauradesh, Bengal, and continued chanting with his intimate devotees who constantly remained with him. Okay, now this is more or less where we got to, because now Mahaprabhu wants to go to Vrindavan. He's toured South India, now he wishes to go to Vrindavan. So to visit Vrindavan, the Lord went to Gauradesh, Bengal. On the way, King Prataparudra performed a variety of services to please the Lord. He arranged accommodation, new buildings, new boats, all sorts of things. He sent orders ahead. And you see, even today in India, if you need some sudden accommodation out of bamboo, straw matting, everything, it's there within really a few moments, a short time. And we saw that at the 500th ceremony of Mahaprabhu's appearance in Mayapur, opposite the road from the ISKCON temple. All those rice fields suddenly became a town, not just a village, but a town, suddenly, with hand pumps, drainage, probably toilets, but it's Bengal. But anyhow, it became a town from nowhere, and then the town disappeared after all the festivals were over. And so King Prataparudra, he sent messages to build new accommodation and new boats for Mahaprabhu. And wherever Mahaprabhu will cross a river, then to set a place there, a shrine, like a shrine, someplace which will be worshipable. Mahaprabhu is here and crossed the river at this point. Beautiful things, Prataparudra, such a king. Okay, so on the way, King Prataparudra performed a variety of services to please the Lord. All right, text 149. Puri Gosai Songe Vastra Pradana Prasanga Ramananda Rayala Bhadraka Paryanta. On the way to Vrindavan via Bengal, there was an incident where some cloth was exchanged with Puri Gosai. Shri Ramananda Roy accompanied the Lord as far as the city of Bhadraka. You have to read more to find out more of these details. They'll come later. When Mahaprabhu reached Vidyanagar in Bengal, there are different Vidyanagars in India. I mean, quite a lot. Reached Vidyanagar in Bengal, on the way to Vrindavan, he stopped at the house of Vidyavachaspati. This is Vidyanagar in Nabadwip Dham. And the glories, some of the glories of Vidyanagar are given in the Nabadwip Dham Mahatmya. He stopped at the house of Vidyavachaspati, who was the brother of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu suddenly arrived at his house, great crowds of people gathered. And at the place, as they say, is his house. Until today, when we go there, that's one big kirtan gathering, very suitable for kirtan. South Americans will love to go there and play the mridanga and chant. Very suitable for kirtan. Somehow the walls, the sound everything. And they're old walls and old trees in that area. Vidyanagar. Next verse, for 5 consecutive days, all the people gathered to see the Lord, and still there was no rest. Out of fear of the crowd, Mahāprabhu left at night and went to the town of Kulia, present-day Nabadwip and Koladip, in that area of the mat.
It's very small.
At that time, so in the purport by Srila Prabhupada, at that time to go from Vidyanagar to Kulyagram, one had to cross a branch of the Ganges. All of those old places still exist. Chinnaranga was formerly situated in Kulyagram, which is now known as Kolarganj. Kolarganj, that's the area of our mat. And then we think, and when we are on Parikrama, it's the last day of Parikrama, we come to the Vidyanagar and then to the place of Vrindavan Das Thakur's appearance. Yes, must be his appearance place. Yes, Mam Gachi is the name of the place. But then when you come back, you think, oh, there's no Ganges here to cross, but here it says that there was Ganges to cross between there and Kulya. And Gurudev one day pointed out that the Ganges, when he was young and came to the mat, it was flowing the other side of Govinda Kunda, where the village is, but it was also flowing in another section by the other side of the railway station. And when you stand at the railway station, if you stand at platform 1, wait for the train, number, whatever it is, Ṭhākura. Anyway, you stand and you look over the other side of the railway station, you can see it's lower land. And Gurudev said, one branch of the Ganges used to flow that way. So this is, then we can understand it, how it was all happening. You had to cross the Ganges again, with no bridge, got to cross the Ganges. Kulya, next verse. Kulya grammete prabhura shunya agamana koti kota loka asi kaila darashana. Hearing of the Lord's arrival at Kulya Gram, many hundreds of thousands of people came to see him. The specific acts performed by Mahāprabhu at this time were his showing favor to Devananda Pandit and excusing the Brahmana known as Gopal Chapala from the offense he had committed at the lotus feet of Srivas Thakur. And many atheists and blasphemers came and fell at the lotus feet of the Lord, and the Lord in return excused them and gave them Krishna Prema, love of God. And that verse, Pashandi Nindaka Asi Parila Charane Aparada Krami Tare Dila Krishna Preme. So he vanquished all of their aparads, finished, and gave them Dila Krishna Prema. Vrindavana Jabena. Vrindava Jabena. He will go to Vrindavan. Vrindavana Jabena Prabhu Shuni Nrsingananda. Acha. Pata Sajaila Mane Paya Ananda. So Nrsingananda Brahmachari, one Brahmachari, heard that Mahāprabhu was going to go to Vrindavan. So in his mind, he decorated the road. So, but just before we get there, I just want to say, when it said hundreds of thousands of people came to see people in Kulya, which is the area of Chaitanya Saraswat Math, as we heard in the purport. And in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, perhaps it's told, that you could hardly see the water of the Ganges for the number of people crossing, the heads of the people crossing the Ganges. It was so full of people. There weren't enough boats, there weren't enough other ways to cross, and people were crossing in cooking pots and whatever they could find, trees and swimming across. And Guru Maharaj said that I thought, and he was saying, I thought it was hyperbole. And then, what's hyperbole? The devotees are thinking, but perfect word. Guru Maharaj saying, I thought it was hyperbole, but this means that it is some exaggeration for emphasizing a point. But then Guru Maharaj said that when he was in Calcutta and saw how many people came to see Mahatma, they called him Gandhi, the freedom fighter. Then when he saw the throng, the masses of people coming to see him, then Guru Maharaj said, it came in my mind. Yes, when Mahāprabhu, if so many people come to see an ordinary man, then what to speak of the Golden Lord Mahāprabhu? Not exaggeration, not hyperbole, but really massive, hundreds of thousands of people coming. Okay, so while in Kulia, the area of Kalerganj, became known as Kaledanga, now known as Kaladip, these various names. Many atheists, oh yes, they were excused of their offenses and Mahaprabhu gave them Krishna Prema, yes. Then when the Nrsingananda Brahmachari heard that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go to Vrindavan, he became very pleased and mentally began decorating the way there. First, Nrsingananda Brahmachari contemplated a broad road starting from the city of Kulia. He bedecked the road with jewels, upon which he then laid a bed of stemless flowers. Just the flowers, no little bits sticking out. He mentally decorated both sides of the roads with bakula flower trees. Beautiful. They're beautiful trees. The flowers, if you make a garland from bakula flowers, you need many, many flowers and many, many hands to make those garlands. And it's amazing. You can get bakula garlands. They're tiny flowers, extremely fragrant, of special heavenly fragrance. And to make a garland takes hundreds of flowers. And they do make garlands, sometimes quite like thick garlands of bakula flowers. And in the land of nectar down the road, there was one bakul tree, and for quite a while, I used to sleep under that tree at night. It's wonderful, very wonderful. With a mosquito net. Mosquitoes also like very much. Anyway, with a mosquito net. And those days, anyway, very happy days. We didn't also have any watch, any way to tell the time, and we would get up in the morning and do Mangalati. And when Sagar Maharaj came, because he wasn't there, myself, Dayal Nitai, we are looking after the land and going every day to the mat with our duty and serving Gaura Nitai, serving your brother and your self-same form. Okay, yes. So serving Gaura Nitai, very sweet deities there with what way we can. And what was I going to say? Oh yeah, it was just with the Bokul tree. All right. And then when Sagar Maharaj came, he did have a watch. He had a watch, very advanced. And when he came, he had a watch. And he said, every morning you do Ārati at exactly the same time. How is it? Yeah. I've got no idea. It's just how the nature is. You hear, you feel nature waking up somehow, and you wake up with nature. Go to the hand pump, have the bath in the hand pump, and then go and do the Ārati. And we did the Ārati, but he said every morning, the same time. But that is the nature world. Because things do wake up subtly. It's not that suddenly, rah, 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 everything's loud sound from the birds. They come in a little later. Then they talk with each other, for sure. And Guru Maharaj said that also. Auspicious time to start a journey in the early morning is when it's dark, but not before. The birds start to, the Guru Maharaj said, talk with each other, but before they go to eat. They're all talking, but not yet. eating.
Usha is called, I think.
Huh?
The Usha time.
Usha, I don't know what is Usha time.
One time Gurudev was going to go to Calcutta,
Yeah.
and he said, oh, it was just before, he said, open the window to hear
To hear
the
the bird.
sound.
And he called it Usha.
Usha.
Okay. And also one time I was going to, and how I really know firsthand about it is also, I was going to Calcutta from Nabadwip, and if Guru Maharaj is there on the veranda, we'll always go to Guru Maharaj, or we'll tell somebody what we're doing. We never go out to go to the shop without telling somebody we've got this, that and the other. And we sometimes never went out of the mat for months when there was no need. We're not going out from the mat. But one morning I went up, and I had some duty in Calcutta, and I was going to take the early train. There's a 4:15 train, quite early in the morning. Well, of course, 4:15. But the normal train was 6:10 was the normal, they call office train. 6:10, got in at 10 to 9. But taking the 4-something train, I went to Guru Maharaj to say, Guru Maharaj, I'm going to Calcutta, this service, need to do. And Guru Maharaj just said, oh, you sit. And he's sitting chanting japa and saying, oh, you sit. And then I'm just sitting like a fool that I am. I'm just sitting. And I'm happily, Guru Maharaj says sit. I'm happy enough to sit. I'm not going to... If the dog is asked to sit, the dog sits. Master happy. So I just sitting. And then after some time, it wasn't 5 minutes, it was after some time, and Guru Maharaj chanting, I'm just sitting. And maybe chanting mentally, but just sitting like that. I don't know why, I'm sitting and waiting. I'm thinking maybe it has a message, someone's going to come, something. And then Guru Maharaj said, okay, now you can go. And then, he must be thinking, what am I thinking sitting like that? And Guru Maharaj said that about the birds, that very thing. And he said, oh, to go when the birds have started talking together, but not yet eating. This is good time. Now you go. Very sweet.
Yeah.
Then went. And we'd always walk to the station. To the station, back from the station. We'd walk in the morning. It's a good time to go because the fish market is closed.
Yeah.
Oh dear, the smelly fish market. Govinda, Govinda. In Nabadwip, everything is also in front of you. And in Nabadwip, you have no excuse not to know what is meat. Because they kill the goats and they hang them up. And on the way to the station also, they kill the goats. Also we were saying about the broadcast on the television about sacrifice. But they're doing with no sacrifice. Tying, okay. I'll give a description another day. Next, Chaitanya-Caritāmrta. We're in Kolya, all these people coming to see Mahāprabhu. What happened to the clock? Okay, anyway, Nrsingananda Brahmachari, he arranged all these, and he arranged lakes. So these lakes and bathing places, so on each side of the road he arranged ponds and etc. All right, so he mentally decorated both sides of the road with bakula flower trees, and at intervals on both sides he placed lakes of a transcendental nature. Then Ratna Banda Ghata, Tahe Prafula Kamala, Nana Paki Kolla Holla, Nana Paki Kolla, various birds doing Kolla Holla, making sounds. Shuddha Sama Jala, and the Shuddha, pure water. So what is the translation? These lakes and bathing places constructed with jewels. These lakes had bathing places constructed with jewels. Yes, Ratna Banda Gata. And they were filled with blossoming lotus flowers. There were various birds chirping. It says chirping, but it says here kolla holla, making loud sounds. More chirping, oh, chirp, chirp, chirp. But they're doing more than that, maybe. Kolla holla. and the water was exactly like nectar. Shuddha Samma Jala. Shuddha, like nectar, like water. Okay, the entire road was surcharged with many cool breezes which carried the fragrances from various flowers. He carried the construction of this road as far as Kannai Natashala. Within the mind of Nrisinghananda Brahmachari, the road could not be constructed beyond Kannai Natashala. He could not understand why the road's construction could not be completed, and thus he was astonished. Vismite, Vismita and Adbhuta, Chamatkara, they all have a little different idea, but they're astonished. Then, with great assurance, Nrisinghananda Brahmachari told the devotees that Lord Chaitanya would not go to Vrindavan at this time. He was very sure. I can't make the road beyond here, so Mahaprabhu, it's a sign he's not going to go beyond here. So Nrisinghananda Brahmachari said, the Lord will go to Kannai Natashala and then will return. All of you will come to know this later, but I now say this with great assurance. So when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to proceed from Kulia toward Vrindavan, thousands of men were with him, and all of them were devotees. And all of them were devotees. Wherever the Lord visited, crowds of innumerable people came to see him. When they saw him, all their unhappiness and lamentation disappeared. Anyway, we're going to end that day because we've got to end somewhere. Today, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's appearance day. He broadcast the name and fame of Sri Chaitanya-Caritāmrta, of Nabadwip Dham, of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, Panchatattva. He broadcast the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He gave the clarity to what had become in a very short time in terms of generations after Mahaprabhu, very hidden to the public and only existing within a fine current. But he brought that fine current to distribute to the whole world. And it's an amazing time. That amazing time is the energy, the wish, not only energy as in calories or something, but it is the wish of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur coming into the world. And here we are in London. By his wish, he wanted that the message of Mahaprabhu would reach to London, be spread in London. And here we are at this ashram. Hare Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, London, chapter. Jai Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. So we'll reconvene here after 2 hours, 10:15, and we'll have some special program here for Srila Saraswati Thakur, and we'll be happy to meet you in a short while. In the meantime, let us engage. Now we have 2 hours, so let us do 4 hours of service in 2 hours. See if we can do that. And first of all, Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. And maybe Devananda Prabhu would like to sing. Page 60, you know.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Giri Hari Gopinath Madana Mohan. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Saparika Shishi Guru Gauranga Sundar Radha Giridhari Ju ki Jai. Jai Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Ṭhākura ki Jai. Sri Rupanuga Guru Bhaga ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Ṭhākura ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Ṭhākura Abhibhavartiti ki Jai. Jai Sri Puri Dham ki Jai. Jai Sri Baladev Subhadra Jagannath Ju ki Jai. Jai Shri Nitai Chaitanya Dev ki Jai. Shri Gambhira ki Jai. And the place of Srila Saraswati Ṭhākura's appearance, anyway, the place of his appearance, which is right there on the road, ki Jai.
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Gaur.